okay, we've done that, done the parallelism thing, we've done the get, getting rid of the get. And now, the solution 2, yes, that one, you could, I didn't think of it like that, you could do that, you don't have to though, because the solution to this is, and you can think of that as a whole package, doing these things. The solution is this, doing these 3 things, it's like a package. So, but you don't have to think of it like that, and you can have are and the plural either way, but both ways work. And I think that's our 5. All right.
Regarding 4 and 2.
Yes. Yeah, you don't have solutions for a problem. You have solutions to it.
So it's only because of collocation?
Yeah, it's just a preposition collocation. Yeah, solution to something. Okay, here's your problem. Not so much the word order, don't worry about any of that. I found that you cannot put your comma there. A lot of people seem to do that, like he, even when in a reported speech, he said that, very common to see that, no comma. I'm not sure where people are getting that idea from, but it's a common thing that before that, putting commas, don't do it.
Thurs Sept.
I found that. I found, no, you could. Okay. I found that, compared to my country, the life is, you could, but it's optional, you don't have to. The problem was that there was one there.
If
And it
that
shouldn't.
was like, if you wanted to treat that as conjunction, like which, and as which, who.
Yeah, relative pronoun.
Relative
Yeah.
pronoun.
Now, that's important. You do not put comma before that for that one. Can we just hang on to that one? And that one's quite a big explanation, and I'll need to rub a whole lot of stuff off, and we'll do it at the very end, alright? Because that's important. But, yeah. Can you see how I could put a comma there? Look, I'll read it without it. I found that compared to my country, the life is more... I can't read it without doing that. No, we don't talk about the life. Life in general, very common error. People are putting the life. No. The life that the working class live in Syria at the present moment is a disaster. Okay? I've modified that to a particular life, haven't I? But if I'm talking about life generally, nothing. So I found... Yeah, but you can find something, that's an interesting case, Nancy. What you're finding here is, no, don't need to do it, don't need to do it, because this fact, if that fact, in fact you've got nowadays, so it's saying, indicating the present, okay? Even if you didn't have that, if that fact is still the case now, and it's like an eternal fact, right, you can say, oh, when I was 6, I discovered that the sun, that the earth goes around the sun. You wouldn't say that the earth went around the sun. You could, but you don't have to. Because that fact is not dependent on your discovery back then, is it? It's just an eternal, independent fact. So you can often put the fact in the present tense, even if you don't have that. Just while we're here, remember nowadays, too spoken, don't do it. If you want to say that sort of thing, currently. You don't need much more relaxed, that's not what the person was saying. They were saying it was more relaxed, much more relaxed has a different meaning, so we don't need it. And relaxed, you can't say relaxed, you've got to say relaxed, that's your adjective. That's your past participle adjective. It is more relaxed. Got to have it. So working backwards. Compared. Yeah, now this is a really common one. Not comparing to my country. Compared to my country. So, now, I think we've fixed it up, so I'll just read it the two ways where you could put your comma here or not. So, without it. I found that compared to my country. See how I'm saying all that fairly quickly?
Or can I compare to my native country?
That was the other error, thank you. Thank you, I knew there was something I just repeated that one because I want to hammer that one.
I found that comma.
Yeah, I'm going to read it without the comma. I found that compared to my native country, life is currently more relaxed in Australia. Can you hear how that runs? And then there's the pause, and then it runs again. Now I'll do it with the comma. I found that, compared to my country, life is more relaxed in Australia. So you can choose in some cases, and we could put it or we could leave it out, but you cannot do that. And we'll come back to Marlene's question about putting it before that in a minute. Alright, now we don't need to do that because that wasn't what the person was saying. No, I had to adjust. Those said I adjusted. So that would change the meaning. To correct. The new situation by attending to, yes. Out. Right, you attend clubs, not attend to. Now, here's your problem. Don't write etc. in any formal writing. Don't do it. So if we get rid of that, we have to have an and, correct. We don't have a comma because we're only listing two things. When you list two things, you don't, X and Y, no commas. Three things, Oxford comma, X comma, Y comma, and Z. Right? Now there's different comma rules there because they're things, they're nouns that we're joining up, aren't they? Whereas this sort of stuff is about joining clauses. So different comma rules for joining clauses as compared to listing nouns. So the rule here is if you have two elements, no commas. Three elements, commas between each one and just before the and at the end, Oxford comma. Okay, and that's that one fixed.
And John, maybe sometimes because as the leader they said, yeah, we can write etc. We saw it many times maybe in the writings, but they were information.
Lots of people write it. Look, it's a really good thing for noting, isn't it? You know, you write it down quite a lot in notes, and maybe people are writing informally or in emails and so on. You'll see it. Plus, not high quality native writing. Somebody might put etc., but they shouldn't. So you do see it. You do see it in different writing contexts. But yeah, informal, professional, academic writing don't do it.
So on, we can write so on.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. What could we put? And
so on.
Now, on and so on sounds a bit too spoken. The best formal way of doing it, and the like. Have you ever heard of that structure?
No.
It's quite formal, sounds kind of quite nicely academic. If you want to list things and then say kind of and keeping on going, and the like.
And some of them, and alike. A-L-I-K-E.
Not and, no, you can't say and the like. Cannot do it. The word alike exists, but you can't use it in this context.
Yeah.
I mean, in formal writing, we can say and the like.
That's right, formal writing. That's the way of sort of doing that, if you want to do that for whatever reason. Just on that though, if you said by, for example, imagine you're putting in here something, by, comma, for example, and you're giving some examples. If you give examples, don't then put anything like this. Because when you give examples, you give 2 examples, or you give 3, but that's the end of it, isn't it? They are your examples. You don't say and so on, like I'm giving an infinite number of examples. No, you don't do that. You give a certain set of examples to demonstrate a general point. So, you would take that off if you're doing that. In this case, you are not doing that. So you can leave it. Okay, here, best way to deal with this, at first.
Yeah.
At first, I see a lot of people struggling with this one. In the first time, at the first time, you know, or the first time, no, at first. That's your simplest adverb to communicate that idea.
What about in the first, no time?
In the first, can't say in the first.
Okay.
You can say, it's close to another collocation, in the first instance. And that's quite formal. So in the first instance, we will try this. Our second option will be this. So in the first instance. That's where I would say in the first, but you need that word instance. And that's a different meaning from this. Alright, yeah, culture shock. That's right. It's a kind of odd one, that one, because it's an adjective, isn't it? And normally we use the word cultural. A cultural misunderstanding, a cultural tradition. But for, you know, it's just usage, it's just what natives do, it kind of breaks the rules. We say culture shock. And it's an adjective, but it's not really an adjectival form. But we don't say cultural shock, we say culture shock. And this is really common, and you've corrected it properly. I've arrived in Australia. Not arrived to. You come to Australia, and that's probably why when I came to Australia, yes, but arrived in. So because we've got these two verbs that mean the same thing, the prepositions get mixed up. That's why people make that mistake.
Another one says arrive at.
You can, but not at for Australia.
At a small place.
That's right, yeah. I arrived at the hospital. Not even a city. I arrived in Melbourne. But I arrived at the zoo on time, at school. So yeah, like I say, there's a single kind of dot on the map is at.
You can't say I arrived at Australia.
No, you can't say I arrived at Australia. It has to be in. Yeah.
Coming back to the sentence 3,
Yeah.
why we don't have to put in the middle of the before life?
Here. When we say life is sweet, life is beautiful, life is sad, whatever, life is
General.
general.
Too general.
Yeah, and so we're just speaking generally. Common error to write the life. Yeah, so there's quite a few little micro lessons there. I hope they make sense to you. We'll just deal with your one, Marley. Yeah. I think we've dealt with this before, but it needs recycling, and I think I might have done it without writing anything up, so.
Just at first, there was a third or time.
Yeah, at first, no the. Now that at, it's interesting because at first, remember our chapter on articles? Ordinal numbers, first, second, third, fourth, 17th. I said you have to have a the, don't you? But there's one, it's a fixed expression that breaks the rule, at first. Even the opposite, at last, that also breaks the rule. They're just these fixed expressions. Just complicated if I do that. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay.
Yes, it is. Just say at first, there was no time. At first, I had a
Easy, like that. Okay. So, remember we covered defining and non-defining clause. Defining and non-defining clauses. That's the that and which thing. Okay, if we're in the car park, you know, and I'm talking to a friend, the car that I bought is over there. Would you like to drive it? You know, now you know which car. Right, that's the one I bought. So that is defining the car, isn't it? There are several cars. The car that I bought is over there. Not that one, not that one. The car that I bought. I'm defining it, telling you which one, basically. However, so that's what we call a defining clause. And when we have a defining clause, we use that, or I can use which.
Without any comma.
Without the comma, that's right. So let's draw a comma and cross it out. You cannot have a comma there. So a defining clause does not have a comma. This, my car, let's skip the bit in between. My car goes really well, I'm just telling you, it's a really nice car, I'm very happy with it. I've put a little bit extra in here. My car, which I bought yesterday, goes really well. Can you see how that's a bit of extra? It is not defining the car, is it? I've already defined it, in this case, by saying my car, right, goes really well. I'm not trying to tell you which particular car out of a number of cars it is. Here I am. I need to define which car it is. So, think of this. What if I take these out and do this? It's like that, isn't it? That is the meaning of that. It's think of it like this, non-essential. The stuff between the commas is non-essential. You don't really need it. My car goes really well. I'm still getting the main idea across. You understand, no problem.
It can make a sense without it.
Yeah. Now, if we do it here, imagine we take that out. Here we are in a car park. There are 17 cars, and I say to you, I leave that out. Here are the car keys. The car is over there. All right? You go around trying 17 cars, and all the security alarms will go off, you know, and you'll get yourself arrested. Right? Can you see how I can't leave that out, can I, in this? It's essential. This is essential. So that I'm defining which car it is, giving you the keys, you go straight in the car and drive it. So that is what's called a defining clause. When we use it, when we have a defining clause, no comma. I'm going to take these out because I just put them there to help demonstrate. Let's put these back. That's exactly what these things are doing, aren't they? They're marking the non-essential bit of the sentence. Now, sorry, I'll just finish, and then the questions. Leading up to Marley's question, we can see that has no comma. So even in this context, there's no comma, but here, can we put that there?
Yes.
My car that I bought yesterday goes really well. You cannot do it.
You can't?
No. Here's the rule. You cannot use, hang on, you cannot use that for a non-defining clause. You can only use which. That's the difference between which and that. Right? You can use both for a defining clause. But you cannot use that for a defining clause. That always works only in defining your clause. Alright? So, Yeah, so again, you won't get comma and that, right? Because you can't use that. Here, you won't get comma and that because you can't use the comma. You see my point? So in other words, comma, that won't exist for either reason. It won't happen. One in this instance because you can't use your comma, and one in this instance because you can't use that. You'll never see that combination. And the other thing, the other quite different context and function of he said, comma, that, we don't do it there either. So you will not see in correct writing, comma and that.
Thanks.
Is that clear? Question?
It's just I understand without that two, that two in between two commas, if we took that part out, still we got the meaning. Is
That's
that
right.
why it's
That's right, exactly. We've still got my car goes really well. That's the main thing you want to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
You were just adding a little bit of extra information. Lynn, got a headache, got some Panadol. Special grammar headache Panadol.
What it means goes really well. My car goes really well.
It drives really well and just goes. You probably wouldn't write that. Probably right. Performs really well. It's fairly spoken. Yeah. All right. Well, that was a big burst of grammar, wasn't it? Yeah.
I hope I still can remember after today.
I know. It's all a lot at once there. But no doubt next time we do some writing feedback, some of those things will recycle. That you don't grab them and they don't get fixed just once, do they? We'll keep practicing and recycling.
Thank you for watching.
All right. Any further comments or questions on that? I reckon it's break time. So go and get your Panadol.
Good idea.
We'll come back afterwards, we'll do some critical thinking and a bit of referencing.